In non-duality, non-duality does not mean not duality. A lot of people mistake that. Non-duality means non. It means this and that and this, which plays itself out as this and that. It's not a canceling out of duality. It's the embrace of duality. That this, whatever you want to call this, the self, God, consciousness, emptiness, the nothing that's everything, this that's inclusive of all dualities, uses all dualities. So there you are, which you are actually this, the biggest possible reality, but also displaying itself as this particular human being, right?
Right.
And in this particular human being, you can have the direct knowledge, and more importantly, the direct experience of being the all, and because it's non-dual and not dual, so you can have the experience of being the all and simultaneously have the experience of having the all have the feeling of otherness, of beyondness. Because after all, the unseen doer is unseen, isn't it?
Yes.
Even to the unseen doer is unseen. That's the most amazing thing. Even to God, God is a mystery. In fact, only to God is God a mystery. Everybody else pretends like they know what the hell they're talking about. And God said as much. What are you, God? I am that I am, as I remember it says in the good book. Which doesn't say much, does it? Unless you realize what it really says, which is everything. Everything, every time you say, I am, you're it. Every time you say, I am this or that, you've just forfeited your true inheritance. So to have the felt sense of being the totality and also being a limited human being, which the totality has a sense of otherness, is perfectly obvious. And you will be prone to what you're prone to. Some body minds are prone to, they lean towards the experience of being that. Although if they really are listening, they can also feel the hint of otherness, of mystery beyond. Even though you are the beyond, you can feel that. I can feel that. Some of us are more hooked up and prone to have a more of we manifest a sense of being that. And then others are more hooked up, even if they know they are that. I am that. They might be more hooked up to feel that as other, even though they know it's not. And who's to say what's right, what's wrong? If all we have access to is God as other, then we haven't seen the deepest truth. That's for certain. But even if we have, there may be a sense of otherness. And that's actually part of the beauty. As a human being, isn't it beautiful? Mm-hmm. To slip into your humanness, slip into your limitedness, to almost but not quite forfeit your everythingness, slip into your humanness, and then you get to have that experience of the divine being other. And then the experience is beautiful.
Exactly.
Right? It's wonderful. And in the next moment, it can all collapse. And you slip totally out of otherness in a relationship, and you are that.
Exactly. We can have our cake and eat it too.
Absolutely. That's how you made it. You can have your cake and eat it too. You're the infinite everything. You made the cake. You're the mouth that eats it. And isn't it silly how little limited human minds argue about this kind of nonsense?
That's
Not that we are, but it's silly, isn't it? One is right, one is wrong. There's a great story of someone went to when Ramana Maharshi was dying, who was really a guy that was prone to I am the self, right? Not much relationship stuff going on. Except to when it came to his mountain Anarachala. That's where he met God as other. And he wrote these beautiful hymns to his mountain. That's how he saw God as other, as his divine. It was in the form of this mountain that he never left once he walked up to it, ever, his whole life. So, but outside of those hymns, and they're quite beautiful and touching, that he would write to this mountain, which was his devotional songs to his God, the majority of him was in, there is only the self. And so when someone asked him when he was dying, Ramana, do you need to die? Can't you just hang around? Can't you just stay with us? We don't want to lose you. And his only response was, where do you think I will go? The whole notion that he would in any way try to save himself, sustain himself, heal himself, was just completely foreign to him, because everything is that, including the cancer that was killing him. That was that. Everything was God. Why on earth? Where do you think I'll go? It's everything. So there's Ramana, right?
Right.
Big, absolute, non-dual guy. Similar story, a little earlier in time, but not much. Someone goes to Ramakrishna, who's one of the most beloved saints of India. And Ramakrishna also had the same realization. If you listen to some of his teachings, he knows, I am that, there's only the one, blah, 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 blah. He gets the whole non-dual thing. He's totally realized it. And yet Ramakrishna's relationship was very much, he talked about the Divine Mother all the time. So he was hooked up to enjoy the experience of otherness, even though he knew better. So Ramakrishna's dying, and someone comes up to him and says, Ramakrishna, can you sustain your life a little longer? We really need you. We really want you. And so here's non-dual Ramakrishna, and what does he do? He says, well, wait a minute, I'll go ask the Divine Mother. So he goes and checks in his experience with the Divine Mother. And Ramakrishna says, Divine Mother, can I take some food to sustain this body a little longer for the sake of my disciples? And what he hears Divine Mother say is, I'm feeding you in all the other mouths. Do you really need to be fed through your own? Which couldn't be a more non-dual statement, could there? So he comes back and he says, the Divine Mother said, you're being fed through all the other mouths. Everybody else is eating, which is him, right? Does it really need to be fed through your own? And so he surrendered himself to the will of the Divine Mother, even though a very intimate part of his teaching was that he was the Divine Mother. Only little scholastic human minds sit around and try to figure out things like, who's right? Who's wrong? What's more real? What's less real? But in our experience, I think if we're sensitive, we can find both of those places, and we can find both of those places simultaneously existing.
Right. We can celebrate ourselves.
Absolutely.
And who we are. And at the same time, we can celebrate that other, unknown, faceless doer, the mystery of those circumstances that present themselves to us.
Couldn't have said it better.
Thank you, Adya.
You're welcome. Thank you. Enjoy yourself.